What is up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another Minecraft Attack on Titan project. And I have a very big update for you today, and it's just beginning right now, but I plan to fully rework the district walls. Now, as you can see, we're in what is going to be the Trost district, and I think that's going to be what I do next. But before I can do any of that, I have made new district walls that are just about exactly what I wanted. This simply won't do. There's not enough space. The walls are kind of ugly and misshapen. But here we have the new walls. Just look at it. It's literally twice as big. And I think that's going to be a much more fitting size. And not only that, but it's perfectly shaped. And this new wall actually took me way less time than it did for me to make this. Thankfully to World Edit. Basically, I just found the very center of the thing I'm trying to make. So I did just a circle. That's basically all it is. It's like a half square, half circle. That's essentially what the shape is. And so I made a circle, connected the walls, deleted the rest of the circle, and with the radius of 220, literally right here is the middle block that I used to make this. There is so much more space, and I think we're going to be able to fit a very realistic looking Trost district as well as all the other districts, because eventually I'm going to go back to Shiganshina and just completely rework that, make it into what it's meant to be. And this is awesome. Like, I still am gonna have to detail the walls and finish up the walls, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to MC Edit and I'm gonna copy and paste this new district everywhere, just like how I originally did this. So I'm gonna have to fully complete these district walls, just like how I did with these, in order to, well, just save a bunch of time, really. So as I add more details to these walls, I'm really so much happier with the new district walls that I'm making. Of course, the size is pretty much what I need. I mean, so the previous clip was recorded with 22 render distance. Yeah, you need a render distance of 22 just to be able to see all of it. I'm on 16 right now, which I think is about the default render distance without like Optifine or whatever, and you can't even see all of it. But so what I'm proud of here that I did is I'm adding in like the little bit of a slope that kind of goes at the base of the wall. And this, I think lore wise, this is literally like about 15 meters tall to stop any titans that are 15 meters. So there's not much to it, but at the same time there is. So I have completely fixed the walls and made them thicker. So these new district walls are 10 blocks thick instead of 8 as before. And so I had to change that for the main walls as well. So these are thicker, and if you notice, I fixed all the gaps. There's no more gaps in the walls. I figured out how to fix that. All 3 walls are now perfect, and I added the little slope to the big walls as well. Now the only thing I don't think I'm going to be able to add is all the little like the stone strut things that kind of go down. I just have these kind of basically laid out about 21 blocks apart. I used a couple reference images to kind of get the scale down. So there's about 10 on each side. There's the main gate, and then there's another 10 of those like vertical struts on the back side of the district. So I'm pretty happy with the way that turned out, and I'm gonna have to add all these in with MC Edit. That'll be so much easier. So I just went ahead and made one of them over here. This is pretty much what it's gonna be. I might tweak it a little bit, but I'm pretty happy with this. So it'll be much easier to just copy and paste this in World Edit into each one of these spots. And so this just goes all the way down. Let me just look at this. Look at the size of this. Now I did the same thing over here with the generating the hollow cylinders. So that's how I'm making these walls. With World Edit, you go hollow cylinder, stone 4, which is diorite, and then you get your radius, whatever that's going to be, and then your height. So that's really the main command that makes all of this possible. So that helped me make this. This would have been a pain in the ass without these commands, but it looks pretty good. And I did the same thing on the outside. It looks just as good. And then once I add in all these little stone strut things, then it's really gonna all come together. And then of course I'm gonna have to make the gatehouses as well. Now eventually I am going to completely rework Shiganshina district, and so that means pretty much wiping all that progress. Now before I do that though, I am gonna save most of those buildings as MC edit schematic files so that I at least still have some of my work saved. But yeah, that's going to be completely reworked. Although I do want to work on, I want to make Trost District first. It's a little bit flatter. See, the terrain in Shiganshina is absolutely nuts. And that's actually going to be one of the hardest districts to make, I think, because it's just so, it's so like specifically planned out. And again, the terrain is crazy, but Trost District is actually mostly flat. You know, of course, there's some variation here and there, but it'll be a little easier to get the floor plan and kind of get everything, get the layout. And the buildings are going to be quite a bit of fun to work on as well. I do like the architecture in Trost. So this is what I'm going to be working on next. But, of course, we are finishing up these walls. So I'm going to get the last of the detailing in. And then I'm going to try to go to MC Edit and start copying and pasting this district wherever else I can. Alright, so here we are with the walls mostly done. The only thing left really is the gatehouses, which are a pretty big task in of themselves because the Trost District gatehouse is actually quite a bit different than the Shiganshina gatehouses. They're much beefier, much more detailed, and a bit more stylized. But here we have the walls in all their glory with all these wonderful little stone struts. And so from over here, you know, I'm really happy with the way this whole half of it looks. The other half still looks pretty good from a distance, as you can see, but it is obviously a bit harder. You know, circles and any kind of rounded objects in Minecraft are always a little bit wonky, so that may be a little bit of a work in progress, but let's just take a closer look. So again, I am now in 22 render distance, so just keep that in mind. There's nothing in here, so the perspective feels a little bit weird, but this is an insanely large, very large area. So let's just go a little bit closer to the walls here. I just put on some very basic shaders in the meantime to kind of show off a little bit more of how it should look, you know. So I mean, just look at this. It's pretty nice so far. Yeah, so you can see I kind of started to try and get some of the dimensions and whatnot with the gate over here, but I quickly realized that in itself is a pretty big project just with the gatehouses. I do want to put a little more time and care into those, get as many reference images as I can to try to make it look the best it can. But let's just kind of go along here, these walls here, and it's looking pretty good. I like how it looks. It's looking a lot more like an actual district. But if we get a little bit closer to the rounded area is when it gets a little bit more funky. I feel like I'm gonna have to tweak it a little bit, just a little bit. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out as well. Like, yeah, from above, it looks a little bit weird, like a little bit craggy, I guess, a little bit uneven, you know. But from below, you know, it's looking like a district. So yeah, next video I will be working on the gatehouses, which again, the Shiganshina gatehouses are a little simpler, a little easier to make, and the Trost ones are pretty magnificent. So I do want to put more time and care into that. But so far, so good. Now I know on this channel, this map, this project that I'm working on is pretty much what gets me most of my views. It's what most people come here for. You know, I know everyone is probably about sick of, you know, just watching random Let's Plays. I still like doing Let's Plays here and there, just because I know I do things a little bit differently, especially when it comes to survivals and any game that kind of has building in it. I like to try to do something a little bit different. But this project is still the main bread and butter on this channel. And so here on out, I do want to try to make this a pretty big focus. But eventually soon, I should be hopefully trying to get into live streaming, probably on Twitch, and mostly playing like shooters like Apex Legends and who knows what else. So look forward to that at some point. But for now, this project is still going on, and I'm feeling good about it. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this little update here. Quite a big update, actually. This really changes things a lot and makes the scale just much bigger. So I hope you all enjoy, and I will see you all in the next one.